Welcome, everybody. Hi, Susan. Hi, Dave. Hi, Anna. MB, Peter. Nice to see you. This is Al.
Hi. Hi.
We're going to have Al introduce himself and share a little bit about his background. Al's going to be available for one-on-one coaching. I don't know, Al, when do you want to be available for that?
Well, next week I have like a small medical procedure I have to do, and I'll
Mhm.
be like probably out for like I don't know though, like maybe a week. So maybe in about a week and a half I would be ready to do
Okay,
that.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll announce it then, and you can let me know, but just so people know.
Yeah.
And he'll be on my website and on our Substack, and
Perfect.
so
Great.
good. Cool. Welcome, Louise. Welcome, Charlotte. So, um, so yeah, give us your background. Tell us about yourself. Tell us everything.
Yeah. So I'm here in Nova Scotia in Canada, so way on the east coast. So above Maine, like basically right above Maine, and it's a pretty little part of the world here. It's pretty a little bit slower paced, than probably everywhere else in the mainland of Canada. And basically, yeah, I was born here. My parents, my mom was kind of a hippie. She grew up in this sort of area that I am in now. She lived on a commune for a time. She was like pretty like out there, like vocally about things. She did a lot of social work, and so she was like pretty nurturing to me, which was great. And like I went to school in Ontario. I did like a degree in outdoor recreation and like outdoor education, and then I did a bunch of sort of tree planting, which is like yeah, I think I mentioned this, like a rite of passage in Canada to tree plant, which is like
Yes,
it's pretty
especially for Hobbit. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of an adventure. It's like piecework too, so you get paid by the tree. And yeah, I met my partner in school in tree planting, and we tree planted together for years and worked together for years. So it was like this like bond. Like if you can tree plant with somebody, and if you can tree plant, and then you're like, you should be good. It's like you kind of see it's just like outdoors all the time in snow and rain and bugs, and you just like steep mountain conditions sometimes. So it's like, yeah, it was good to solidify our relationship there, I think. But
Yeah, go
um
through the fire together.
exactly, yeah. It's like, yeah, I always say it's tree planting is like the closest thing to war I hopefully will ever
Right.
experience, because
Right.
it's a pretty raw deal. Um
Bond like war buddies.
yeah, totally. And but yeah, we retired from that in 2016. We did 10 summers of that, or 11 summers of that. And then yeah, I always was involved in carpentry. My father had a carpentry business in the Annapolis Valley, and that's where I was sort of raised. And um, I always just sort of came back to it because it sort of provided, you know, freedom, I guess, in a way, to like for me to work on my own. Like that was a big thing. I was freedom to pick jobs and pick and choose what I wanted to do, and yeah, and to keep learning the skill and the trade. And it's a pretty decent paid trade. It can be now. I think more and more it's like, people realize that they want nice things, and a lot of things have been watered down. I would say a lot of craftsmanship has been watered down. A lot of the products you get, it's all like
Mhm.
glue and sawdust. So yeah, and and it does cost a lot. People are realizing more and more how much it actually costs to build, and the thing is, the crazy thing, it's like not getting any cheaper. If you want to build a house the traditional way with
Mhm.
sticks, and it's not getting any cheaper. Mortgages and money that way isn't getting any cheaper. So, but it's also, yeah, a big racket. So I spent the last sort of 7 or 8 years working on a business in Halifax, in the sort of the city, we call it out here. And but yeah, it sort of got it was a lot. to run a business and to do what I want to play music and to learn and so yeah, I sold the business last year to my business partner and my life partner. We came and we moved into the country last year, so that was like a big change, and it's been really beautiful to have that sort of transition and to like um yeah be doing what we want to be doing, which is like gardening, and I still do building out here. There's a lot of old houses to work on, and but on a much sort of like smaller scale, like just me, and I've hired a couple people. My dad's been working with me too, which has been really awesome because he's sort of retired, but he helps out, and we work together, which is like something we get along really well. And yeah, so we're out here now, and it's definitely giving me a lot of time to like reflect too on I guess what matters and what's important to me, and yeah, playing music and thinking and feeling deeply and trying to align myself in a way that is meaningful and yeah, and then I found Dr. Megan here and reached out and things really sort of clicked and I feel what you're talking about is deeply meaningful and in a sea of just meaninglessness. So it's if you're looking for that sort of thing, it becomes easier to find in a way.
Totally.
So people, you get sort of revealed really easily if yeah, the right people are looking for you and they'll find you. So that's exciting.
Yeah, we're like charged particles. We find each other.
Yeah, for sure. So um but yeah, here we are in the country. We still got to get chickens. We don't have any chickens yet, but we just had a child, so we gotta, we're feeling good about everything. But yeah, the chickens are next, and maybe some other animals. And it's springtime, so it's everything's coming to life again. It was snowy winter here, but yeah, it's looking really good.
Mm.
Oh
Great.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, you just had a baby. Little.
2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
yeah, a little child came into the world, and it's our first child, and it's been a trip. It's been a really beautiful experience. I was there with my partner delivering the baby. We did it at the hospital in the city, and just because we couldn't find a midwife here, like I was born with midwives. My mom had midwives for me. I was born home in the 80s, but there's not as much of that going on down here as much now. But there is still midwives in the province. It's just that there's very few, and they're always booked up. And so, yeah, and it was interesting. We took a hypnobirthing class. So basically, my partner nestles into a state of meditation and hypnosis, just to like bypass a lot of, pain and the anxiousness, I think, of it. And, it's interesting what it made me realize, like what our society and culture perceives birth as. If you say like, what would you perceive childbirth? How is that in your mind? Someone would be like, bright lights and doctors all around and a woman laying on her back and pushing and yelling, and it's just kind of like it automatically gives everybody anxiety
Exactly.
because that seems so
Yeah.
unnatural and so insane. And yeah, it was like I was like reading this book about this hypnobirthing technique. You can look it up. I think a woman from Australia sort of developed it, and we watched a lot of videos, and it was really positive experiences for the parents and the child. I think it's really the way to do it. Um, and just reading the book too, it was saying how all mammals pretty much can choose when they have their child. If it's a stormy day and a horse is about to give birth, they'll sort of stop. They'll wait till it's sunny out.
Wow.
So it's like, so there's these definitely, you know, obviously there's powers and there's stuff that we've lost over time to be able to, control things like that. And yeah, it's childbirth just seems still like a total crazy time, and no one understands it. And it is true. And it's like the way that the medical system sets it up is like, yeah, again, maybe not the best. But we got our own room to obviously the delivery room, so we went in there, and my partner's water had broke sort of a couple days before, but really slowly. It wasn't like she was in active labor. It was very, very early labor, and they sort of gave her sort of a cutoff time. So it wasn't exactly what we had imagined, because she ended up getting induced, which is like not the most natural thing. But after that, she didn't take any narcotics, which was like big. It's like usually it's like 80 or 90% of people who get induced then receive some form of narcotic after, and then maybe that gets transferred to the baby, and it seems kind of well. But we did the induction, and then we had salt lamp like night lights that we plugged in everywhere, and like nurses would come in and be like, "Oh, this is nice,"
This
like
is the way to do it.
going from white light to like really dim, sort of warmer light. And like I think one of the nurses like went on Amazon and ordered some of these nightlights right away because she couldn't believe it. And we had like 432 hertz music playing,
Great. Yeah.
whole time. And I brought my guitar. So there was like this period of waiting before it really started. And then, it did really start, and there was different sort of positions, birthing position, and all told, it was about 6 hours of active labor till the child came. And it was quick. And, I think that was because of the induction, obviously, but my partner is super, strong, beautiful person. And she was able to, pass the baby through, and it was healthy. And just to be there the whole time, sort of coaching her and rubbing her with, cold towels, and it was really beautiful thing. And so yeah, and then since then we've been back here in the country, and just sort of nesting, and we put away a lot of food in the freezer, so it's been really easy, and I'm like, I love it. I'm like thriving. It's been so nice to be here.
Yeah, you were telling me it feels so good to serve these two
Yeah,
gals.
exactly. It's like kind of my purpose, like totally a hobbit and a homebody, and it really feels nice to have this purpose. I'm happy in my purpose to do this and just serve my little gals. Um, and then it has been interesting, just like everyone's super in my community is like super pumped about it, and in the community down here. And we're sort of have two communities, like community in the city where we were living for the past while, and then we have a community down here, a smaller community down here. It's like not super populated, but we've got some younger friends. And but yeah, it's always interesting to hear like people's sort of take on modern child raising and childbirth. And I think we were talking about earlier, it's kind of like everyone's kind of like, oh, you're never sleeping again, or yeah, you're goodbye to your free time. And it's like, well, let's not load our project,
Yes.
or
Projections.
to sort of load a conversation like that. And it's like, so far it's early days, but we've been sleeping half decently, and we're comfortable. We're getting into a rhythm, and we're also trying to sort of maintain a really natural sort of flow to feeding and to sleeping. And from what the research we've done is like, and I mentioned this, like we researched sort of like globally acceptable child raising, like natural childbirth and child raising techniques. And it's just like, holding the baby close, a sling for the baby. That way, obviously, you can hold the baby and still do stuff with your two hands and, slowly get around and, um, you know, and then like co-sleeping is one that has totally, our culture is like, don't co-sleep, you know, because, it risks it. Sure, there's risks. There's risks with everything, I think. Um, and, reading more, it's like our culture is detaching so much earlier. They're weaning off breastfeeding way earlier. They're feeding, you know, uh, solid food to the child way earlier. They're putting them in strollers and sending them to early preschool. And it's just like, there's this like constant fight to detach the child from the parents. And
You know,
obviously because of, our society and how it's based, and we got to go back to work and we got to make money to provide for the child. And because it's just the disconnections that have come with all this, conditioning. And
mhm,
yeah, it's so sort of sad to see, because it's like yeah, we are made to be in little communities and to raise our children, together. And
totally.
so it's like, it's just interesting, from this perspective, like that I assume we're all kind of in here, in this chat and in this, these pages. And so it's like, to take that perspective and to expand it out into the real world and into our world, it's just like, right, you see it sort of more and more being, you know, everything's a little discombobulated. and and
Mhm.
given yeah, we save some money, but I gotta go back to work here soon. It kind of sucks. It's, I'd like to sort of just be here, and that's where I should be. But it's like,
Yeah.
it is it is the world we live in. But
Yeah.
it's tough to, it's tough. But
Yeah. Yeah. This is the this is that gap where it's like we were talking about, some friends and family kind of projecting onto you, like you were saying, and having, opinions, projections, agendas, and some of which don't resonate,
yeah,
and how to navigate having a boundary, how to get, as I've said, like underneath it all, there's just a yes or a no in our being, whether something resonates and it's like, "Oh, that conversation feels really good," like this one
yeah,
does, or, there's something about that that's manipulative or it has an agenda, right? That wants you to adapt to the societal programming. And like you're saying, we have to live in this world still that has this artificial setup, but each time you make a natural choice, you allow the natural flow to guide your day, it, um, it shifts the matrix, it shifts the whole field.
yeah,
And now you with this family, it's like, how I mean, that's the question we have for today, and everybody has this question, and everybody has this challenge of, like, how to articulate and honor the more natural flow in every relationship and with work, all of it. And you're, like, in this incredible place where you're choosing new work generally. I mean, you're still gonna do your carpentry, but you're gonna be working, as a coach, and you're gonna be you're just like you said to me that you felt like a new baby,
yeah,
right?
totally, totally.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
feeling like a new baby in the world. And like, and because it is like, yeah, because once you step outside, and we really did, I take it for granted, like what we've done here, and like to step out of where we were and to come here and to have time to honor those, that
Yes.
more natural, way of life. And it is stepping out of the matrix, like literally we
Mhm.
sort of hold ourselves up there. And we've got a lot of like, not, because I think people generally miss us in our community in the city, and I've had friends leave, and it's like, don't go.
Yeah.
It's like, it's tough because you don't get to see it. And it is ultimately like a selfish feeling, in a way. It's like it's your again, you're projecting your way of what you want. You don't want your friends to leave, and you want to stay in
Mhm.
this time forever. But it's also like, yeah, we all have to sort of do our things, and we're still connected, and we're still, I go into the city and I play music with my friends, every other week, and it's great. And
Yeah.
but but yeah, like literally, yeah, having time to consider so many more things than what
Yeah.
I before.
Yeah.
I was like, how many materials do we need on site? Like, who's going to show up today? And these jobs, and it's just like it's just like, whoa, what an intense world to be in. That
Yes.
doesn't. What does it really? I mean, you're creating a service, which is good, but it's. I mean, I guess, but you're still involved in the system that is just so
Mhm.
whacked out. And
Absolutely. Every
you
single
know,
one. Yeah.
yeah, every single one, and it's just like we're doing this work, and it's just like, how much are we charging? It's like, and we're not really making any money.
No.
Like we're like we're paying people, our employees, a really good wage. Like that was a big thing. We hired, you know, we hired trans people. We hired in the carpenter industry. It's like it doesn't happen very often, or there's like
Mhm.
we get a hard time, obviously on job sites, and but we did a lot of inclusive hiring, and we paid people really well, and but the business still was like, it was tough to really keep it afloat sometimes.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
but to step out of that and then some into to sort of where we are now is just like so beautiful because we have this, yeah, this my whole being has shifted literally from being, on a busy street in the city to being surrounded by trees on a road that's has a lot of potholes, and it's like
Mhm.
so so different. But even to be able to consider some of these things, and I always did consider them, but to put, yeah, deep thought into to how we should be living, and how easy it is to really shift to, yeah, a more authentic life, and a more sort of way that is in tune with nature. Yeah, it's really big, and so I'm really excited to be here,
Yeah.
and to shift, yeah, to shift my whole life, and to shift my career, just to pivot it, a bit. It's literally always what I've done is
Yeah.
try to bring people together, and for people to get along, and for people to feel comfortable, you know,
Yes. Yes.
and
Yes, you were the healer as and owning a carpentry business. You were the
yeah,
friend that everybody went to in the band,
yeah,
was
yeah,
always what you were doing.
and I
Yeah.
was, yeah, the go between. I had a partner, and I was usually the first guy that they would talk to about any sort of issue,
Yeah.
generally. Um, but yeah, it is. It's yeah, and in my life too, I was like always. My parents divorced when I was like 21, and I was sort of definitely the sort of go between from them. And people always joke that I'm like Switzerland because that's neutral. I mean, that can be dangerous as well, of course, but to sort of straddle those lines of like, yeah, I mean, you sort of do have to be able to consider things from all sides, and I think
Mhm.
that's remaining flexible. That's what I always tell my clients is like, we gotta stay flexible, and like it's like,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
still to this day, I firmly believe it. Like we have to, everyone. There's no right or left side to any of this, and it's all just, we're all in the middle of this gray soup that we have to sort of, you know
Mhm.
get through, because it's like
Mhm.
there's many answers, and but the natural way of life is really
That's
the right.
it. It's
That is
exactly.
right.
It's not right or wrong. It's
Yeah.
just it's what's true or natural or feels that and you've made this quantum leap to a more natural, like everything's more natural. The work's more natural, your home life is more natural, you're literally living in more nature.
Mm.
Um and I posted a clip from the conversation with Lucy last week where she was talking about it's called She Rises, by the way, is the chapter, but for people who didn't see it, go check it out. But she was talking about knowing in her body. She was talking about all the no's, and we were talking about all the no's in her life, in trying to figure out what to do with her daughter's surgery, and then, the yes was just right there. And we're talking about the contrast, and and that now in this quantum leap where your heart is committed, like you're there's more momentum built in the natural way, the natural flow, the contrast gets greater.
Yes.
Meaning it's like it's very clear when that conversation with that friend is abrasive because you're not living in as much programming.
Yes.
And my encouragement and my invitation is always going to be keep going. Don't bail out and a little bit of compromise, even if it's your mother, even if it's your best friend.
Yeah.
Um, because it's better for them that they have a someone who is honoring, like you go to them and you're back in the matrix. They come to you and they're freer,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And that so and I've and it, I just want to say this to everybody because everybody I've worked with, and this includes myself, it's like all your relationships change when you choose truth
Right.
because they were all compromised, in the programming in some way, most of
Right.
them, right?
Yeah.
So we need to know that and then find words to honor our boundaries, our yeses and our nos, and honor our heart that wants to stay in this natural way. And that's how we rebuild the world, is just each one of us honoring ourselves moment to moment.
Mhm.
We've called it like giving your birth to yourself, honoring yourself, anointing yourself, where you're like, no, I'm going with truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I found in all since this, it's like, I found, my mind slipping back into, oh, I could like even just like simply like, oh, I could start another business or like, and it's just like, wait a minute. It's just like,
Yeah.
or it's like, because the world kind of, yeah, it comes back and sort of sucks you back in. And it's like, whoa,
Yes.
like I have this momentum now and I really have to go with it. And then it's like, it is all in my heart and it's all in my chest to that's where the truth is,
Yes.
and I feel like, yeah, it's like, oh, well, I haven't really experienced that before. So like, let's just go with that, obviously.
Let's go with that. Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
because I've been joking too, like with friends, and it's just like, I've been talking more about astrology and, just let's say astrology. And it's just like, you know what? Just do it. Like, just like at this point of
At this
time
point.
in our world,
Yeah.
what do you have to lose?
What do you
You
gotta lose?
know,
What are we waiting for? Like,
what if, yeah,
I'm gonna say it's now.
yeah, it's just like people have been using this for thousands of years. Like, let's just embrace those things. It's just like, and yeah, astrology, yeah, the natural law, like those healing techniques, yeah, what people have eaten for thousands of years, how people have raised children.
Yes.
It's like for thousands of years. Like, let's just step back into that even just a little bit, just feel your way back into that even just a little bit, and you'll be surprised what you come out with,
Beautiful.
because that is it. Like nature doesn't lie. Like, well,
Exactly.
like we're not broken, it's like we're like this for a reason. It's like, and it's like same thing as like even just wearing shoes. It's like, no, your feet aren't working properly. You need to have these, you know, orthotics, and it's just like, really? Do we have
Yeah.
to have those things? It's like,
Yes. Yes, exactly. I had this phrase I was talking to Vasvi, and came it came out of the conversation, which was the only problem humans have is believing we have problems.
yeah, yeah,
And my whole field was based on that, and all of medicine is based on, and pretty much everything, right? It's like your whole body's a problem.
yeah,
Building materials are a problem. Like everything's a problem.
yeah,
And it's like, it's not actually. In fact, we could build our homes with the dirt and
yeah,
clay in our backyard.
yeah,
And my body is built to navigate this habitat.
totally,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah, I've thought about that from like my career too, and it's like right, like all the building materials that we use generally are made from oil, or
Yeah.
they're glue and plywood, and we're just building those houses, obviously in order to fit within the grid in the system to be hooked up to,
Exactly.
like, it's like we don't necessarily also have to do that. You can choose not to do that. Many people are obviously now.
Yeah.
And it's like, it is true. Like, there's many ways to naturally build your house. And, I've had a book on my shelf for years, for like 20 years. That's like green building and natural roof. And like once in a while, I'll feel like, oh, that's nice. But even now too, I'm like, okay, like this is so tangible for people.
It's so tangible.
It's like really, we can't do this. Like down the road, I got a guy who's selling wood for $1 a board foot. It's the cheapest you can buy, and it's like it's so accessible. here
Yeah.
to have those things. And there's people around with a lot of knowledge, like timber frame knowledge,
Mm.
is which is also like the most aesthetically pleasing way to build. It's absolutely
100%. So
beautiful.
beautiful.
And yeah, to have all these, I was like, even like months ago, I was like, oh yeah, I gotta put in an air exchanger in here, and we gotta have the air perfect. And it's like, okay, is that really necessary? It's like,
Yes.
you know, it's just like, yeah, and we build all these houses with plastic, now, and that's the big thing. It's like, you have to have a mechanical system to breathe your house now,
Yeah.
because you're living literally in a plastic bag. As soon as you add
Yes.
vapor barrier, you're literally, where does the air go? And it's like, but we've done that to ourselves in order
Yes.
to sort of be sustained upon this, in this, grid, essentially, in
Yep.
the power grid. And so it's like, yeah, you got to zoom out a little bit and to be like, right, you know we've we keep hammering the same nail, and it's it's like never ending. And it's like we
Exactly.
are stuck in this loop. It's just kind of like
Yep.
it just keeps being built upon itself. And but
Yep.
yeah, just to take a little bit of a step away and a pivot, and it does a huge world of good for you and
Yes.
the whole system.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah,
Good. Exactly. And we're built for simplicity, fulfillment, just this natural flow. Um, so we can rely on that totally. But you're right that the devil tries to grab us back kind of thing.
yeah,
And we get involved with the old systems or family or friends who are a little lost because there's a fear there. There's something in us, right? We're healing from the inside out, and then the external will shift because there's not really an external and an internal. So something in us magnetizes back. What's been challenging for you? What are those conversations or those things that are pulling you back where you can feel your energy drain? Because we can think of the whole system, the matrix system, as vampiric. What it's doing is extracting our energy. And we can feel that in our body. It's like that conversation drained me or it gave me energy. That build on that house drained me or it gave me
yeah,
energy. Yeah.
yeah,
Super
yeah,
simple.
yeah. And it's like people live their entire lives like
Oh yeah.
that, constantly being drawn from. And
Yes. Most
you know
people.
and it's yeah, and it's just like, even for me, the last 6 years was like that. I was still able to play music and have and do what I wanted to do, but my life overarching was this like totally energy drain. Like everything felt
Yeah.
heavy.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
but then things feel light. And then I that's a really good sort of um metaphor for things. It's like, what feels heavy for you?
Yep.
It's like, maybe try to avoid those things. What feels light? And you feel that right inside of your chest. It's like, oh,
Yep.
this is playful. I can be myself. I can do what I want to do. And but yeah, I mean, yeah, just talking to people. I mean, yeah, it's like, because us moving out here, it was a bit of like a shock to our community, and people ask, like, oh, like, why did you move? Like, you moved away from your community. It's like, why would you do that? And it's just kind of like, whoa. It's just like, because we have a whole like life, we want to live here. We're still not far away. It's
Yeah.
like we still have a connection there. We still go back basically every few weeks. It's like,
Mhm.
but I find, yeah, it is often, it is a fear that people have, and then they project that fear to you because
Yes.
and sometimes they just care about you, and it's their only way to maybe communicate that. But it is, yeah, there are these, like, I had someone the other day too who was like, I was explaining like our plan for raising our child, and it's like our child can be raised by the community, or like
Mhm.
everyone can help to raise the child. And they were kind of like, oh, how are you gonna find that? And that was
Mhm.
like kind of like I found that kind of like a loaded statement, because it's like, sure, we're new here, we don't have a solid community of like
Mm.
people with younger parents, but we're taking this, we got out of the world that we're in to come here to build that life and to expand our community, really, because it's like we have that still in the city, and we have that to a degree here, but it's like, but it's also like asking a question like, how are you going to find love? And it's kind of like, uh, it's just like, be myself, be
Yes.
out into the world, be act completely naturally, and the things stuff will find you. Like
Precisely. Yeah.
that's what that's at first I would like the comment was like, oh, like what do you mean? Like, what do and then it's like you
Yeah.
think about it, and it's like, but wait a minute, this is like, it's fine. It's like, why do we hold in such high regard what people say? And I mentioned this earlier, where it's like our thoughts, I think, they are physical things in a way. They are tangible. We can literally, we think something, we feel it. We think of a lemon, our mouth waters. So
Mhm.
therefore, you would
Mhm.
think that our emotions are these tangible things, which is like, it's beautiful, and it's also can be scary. And but so when someone says something, and like, that's literally what projection is. They're taking their physical thought and
Yeah.
throwing it at you with their mouth.
Yes.
And
And then it
it,
tastes sour and bitter
yeah,
before it tastes sweet. Yes.
yeah, and it's like, you got me
Yes.
with that.
And
You
then
got, like,
right there, it's like, what did
yeah,
it come from? Did it come from the love light in in their chest, or did it
yes,
come from their fear?
exactly, exactly. And it's oftentimes one or the other. It's oftentimes it comes from this place of pure love and joy, and they're giving that to you as a gift, and they don't even know it,
Yes.
or coming from this darker side, all the sort of like space junk of their life orbiting their love light ball.
Yes.
And
That's
the
Al's phrase, by the way, is the love light ball that's
yeah,
our chest, like, our the center of ourselves. And I love your space junk thing because
yeah,
I've been seeing, like, this there's an orbit of stuff around us, right? And we're cleaning our field by
yeah,
embodying and doing all the things we do and opening it up. But it's space junk. And
yeah,
we can sort of, like, spin it out. Yeah.
yeah, it's like a ball of pure light. Like our child right now is literally that. It's pure love. Like, she's smiling for no reason other than maybe she's thinking about milk. But it's
Yes.
like literally she's just this pure bundle of light, and she cries when she's hungry, and that's about it. Or she's
Yeah.
pooping. It's like, but it's just like, and that's it. Like the pure light joy of the baby child, like we have that in us. But
Yes.
over our lives, things get like a planet, like things get sucked into our orbit and revolve around it. And it's something that maybe you've done or someone's done to you, or all kinds of stuff.
Mhm.
But and then to be able to send that junk off back into space somewhere, and
Yeah.
you know, into another orbit, but to clean our love light ball so that it can shine as bright as possible.
Beautiful.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
That's
Exactly.
the goal.
Exactly, and then it's so simple in a relationship, you can feel the amplification that the light increases or it dims. And
Y-
our job as the one holding the light is to keep holding the light and to not let it dim.
Yeah,
Which and it's just love. It's just love to them, you know, "I love you, and I'm gonna hang up now."
yeah,
If it's just not working for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, it is. It's like we want to maintain that ball of light, because that's at the end of our life, at the beginning, and it's still pure. It's still there. I think for
Yes.
every, and then yes, maybe setting up somehow boundaries for people to you know to not project their space junk upon us. And I guess
Precisely.
that's the
That's
tricky.
the challenge. Yeah,
Yeah,
and this is where I wanted to dig in a little bit just to see if you have any left because we all do, it's you called it people pleasing and it's the fear in us from when we were kids, right? We don't want to be abandoned, we want to stay connected and we grok that like we need to be this way in order to be acceptable. And the push for adaptation to fit the program, the school program, the home program, the friend program, whatever it is enormous. And so we've all put on a mask, we've all assembled some space junk to um to present in an acceptable way. and that drains us, and it drains the other person too. It drains everyone who is performing, fill in the blank, performing good guy,
Yeah.
performing smart girl, performing whatever, instead of honoring whatever's true in our system. So in getting a lot of projections on you since having the child, have you noticed any place where you get a little hooked, where you'll get into a conversation and it'll be a drain?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, that's a big thing for me because I think we talked about this, like, I'm totally a people pleaser, like, I can't think of any examples exactly, but, like, I am always, try to be nice to people, I try to be accommodating, but then, I end up, you end up missing out, because, like, you're like, "Wait, I actually wanted that 2 scoops of ice cream, but you gave it
Yes,
to someone else." This is like,
precisely.
and then it's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, but it's just so it's like, it
yeah,
it literally is you by, pleasing other people, you come last or you give away
yeah,
your power, all these things. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think I for me, like, I care about what people think about me, and so I think deep down that's where it comes from. Ultimately,
yeah,
for me, like, I don't want to seem like a bother. I want to seem, you know, like a faithful friend, and I'll honor my friends first. My partner called on me once or a couple times where it's like I put my friends first before her.
mhm,
That's
mhm,
something what we've done, and so that's like a sign of, like, yeah, you have to, put yourself first and the ones that you love, and who cares what, you know if you're gonna miss their show or whatever. It's like,
mhm.
first of all, it is you. It's like in the when you're flying on a plane and they tell you, secure your mask first,
Yeah,
then the next person beside you. So it's like, make sure that you're breathing and
yes.
and coherent, take care of a situation before you go and try to give yourself to somebody else. You know,
Yeah.
and
What's
then
the sorry, go ahead.
well, just the whole thing of, yeah, like, yeah, just to not basically to put yourself first more so. And obviously there's a point to that, but it's like, but not even really. It's like, yeah, you have to honor yourself.
Yes. You have to honor yourself, and you have to it's like honoring yourself, so here's all this awareness and here's the body. It's just what's true, right? And you can hear it in our words where it's like, I don't wanna seem like, a bother. I don't wanna, right? So
Yeah,
there's the self-image, which is just an idea, an identity, and we think that identity is gonna keep us safe. And what's the fear if you are not seen as a good guy or you're seen as a bother?
yeah. I mean, when you go to it, right to it, it's really nothing is there.
There's
It's
nothing there.
just it's really just the fear of that.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
really just the fear of being annoying, and that someone may be like, Alex was real annoying the other day.
Yeah.
And then someone's like, "Oh, okay."
Yes.
It's just
Yes. The
like,
worst of it is that. Yes. Yes.
yeah, it's like and that's really what it boils down to. And for me, it's been such a slog to get over that. And then finding you, it's been like, oh yeah, you can really shed that. And how long have you thought about that for over the course of your life and the course of what other people think rather than just what you think and what you want? It's
Yes.
like, how long of your life have you given to someone else's, the thought of someone else's thoughts? That's
Yes. Yes.
right.
Yes. It's not even real. It's just
No,
you hallucinating what they're thinking,
no,
which is
yeah,
not your business. It's not
yeah,
even you couldn't it's just not your business.
no,
Even if you could guess right, who cares? And
totally.
if you are being genuine, your love light is shining, you're just being you, it's all just authentically you, and they think it's annoying, well, now you know who not to hang out with,
Yeah, totally.
right? It's all like I always say, like, if somebody's rejecting you, if they don't like your authentic self, the breakup with you is always mutual.
Yeah,
'Cause it's like, you don't wanna hang out with them. If somebody's not into me, I don't wanna hang out with you either.
Yeah.
And
No, that
it's great. It's like, Godspeed. But
yeah, it's the natural order of things.
it's just the natural order. Exactly. So when we're natural, then the natural order can sort itself. When we're unnatural, you can only get unnatural back in your mirror.
Yeah. Yeah, and
You
I
just
think
get other performers, right? And
yeah,
then everybody's performing nice friend,
yeah,
and nobody's eating their ice cream.
yeah, it's true. And it is like it's a what's the word? It's compulsory, like it's like instant gratification.
It's
That's what it is. It's like
Yeah.
because instantly you can please someone and feel good about yourself. I think that's it. But it's just like if you go your own course, eventually things will just with natural law will sort out. It does take maybe a bit of time,
Yep.
to see exact results. For me, it's just like, yeah, if I'm like, oh yeah, here you go. Here's my joy. Here's parts of myself. And it's like that may feel good for a second, but it's really it's detrimental in the long term, I think.
It is detrimental. Exactly. And it's what it is the addictive. It just stops the fear for a step. And it stops
Yeah,
the fear of being annoying. So now you're in your hallucination, you're not annoying. So it stops for a minute. But
yeah,
a moment later it can come back because
yeah,
it doesn't satisfy because you're not actually in your body honoring whatever. You're in a conversation you don't even want to have. You're taking a hit, basically.
yeah,
It's a drug. It's like because it's all artificial.
yeah,
And then over here in the body is what's natural, which might be that you don't even wanna be you wanna be at home with the baby. You know what I mean? Like, there's
yeah,
no like, this whole thing isn't real.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And yeah, I think it's these realizations that yeah, are really starting to open up open up my mind and I think yeah, I read somewhere that it's like you only have two options in life and it's like the want and the unwanted. So you can consume yourself forever by thinking of the unwanted,
Yes,
right?
yes. Fear, yeah, exactly. Fear
And
and desire are reality. Yeah.
yeah, and it's
Mhm.
like it's like, "Oh, I don't want that to happen. Oh, how am I going to make that not happen?" And just the shift to, that sort of helped me to be like, "Okay, that's junk. I do not need to think about that. Like, what do I actually want? What does
Yes,
Hal really want?" And
yes,
and for me, that was like a pretty quick pivot to natural law, the
yes.
natural way of things, and because it's like that's all we want
That's all
is
we
to
want. And what you want, everybody else wants. So you pick up the phone and you're like, "Hey, Meg, I'd like to work with you." And I'm like, "This is perfect."
yeah,
This is
yeah,
exactly what I want.
yeah,
Somebody to just go, and then it's like, oh, and then everybody you work with it'll be just right. Because life in her infinite wisdom is just gonna place this all in front of us.
yeah, yeah,
But that's all it took was exactly moving away from fear to what does your body actually want, what's attracted, and then
yeah,
you just honor it.
yeah. It's pretty wild
It's
concept,
it's
but
it's it's wildly simple. It's really good news. Yeah, exactly.
that's what you
Just do
want.
what you wanna do.
Yeah,
That's really
yeah,
but what you actually wanna do, not the inherited concept, because that's all shit, but
yeah,
what your actual heart, what your actual body does.
yeah,
Randolph has a question for you, Al. He says, "Maybe
yeah.
Al has an example learning the difference between people-pleasing his partner and honoring the feminine within the natural law of the man serving her."
Right.
Good question.
So yeah, people pleasing. Right. So people pleasing the like my partner rather than honoring, yeah, the feminine. Yeah. I mean, I think that's let's see, like I for sure, like my partner and I, we've been together for a long time, and I think we both have. You get complacent, I think, in a relationship over a long period of time,
Mm.
and it is that whole, yeah, we're just sort of pleasing each other in a way, but it's like, but yeah, sometimes it does take you know, these shifts, like where we came here, and it's just like,
Yes.
oh, this is where I want to be. I can only imagine myself with you. I think it has to be like a pure. a pure love and a pure connection. And because
Yes.
it ultimately is that, it's like if you are just people pleasing someone in a relationship, then that's maybe not the best.
Empty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, I guess yeah, that's probably really it. And then yeah, honoring the goddess, like in my goddesses now, it's
Mhm.
so it's so easy.
It's so easy.
So easy to do that. And it's like, oh, what do you want? Like, what do you want for dinner? And
Yeah.
it's like, I'll make it. And then I'll go into the greenhouse and grow plants. It's like, I can do that for you. And it's just like, it just really makes, and I think that's the thing, Randolph. It's like the whole purely authentic
Mm.
connection. It's sort of, you have to start with that, um, you know,
Yeah.
as if it feels like you're people pleasing your closest relationship, then that might be
Yep.
not best.
Yep.
Because that is, yeah, that's a tough one.
Yep. Yep. But you're describing it, and, imagine with the shift and with you just living more naturally and her living more naturally too, it's like you're stripping away some of the space junk in between that very natural movement into service. That's
Yeah.
just so fun. It's not effort, it doesn't feel like a sacrifice. We're taught sacrifice, but it's actually abundance. It's actually
Mm.
when you give, you get tenfold. It's
Yeah.
not transactional, it's just that the flow is increased.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like what you guys have been talking about a lot on here is the giving to the feminine, and then she overflows, and then that comes back to you.
Yeah,
That and
exactly.
that could be said for that's like the basis of that concept, but in the whole world as
In the
such.
whole world. Yes.
Yeah, you give to what you love most, it's only gonna overflow back
Yeah.
upon you. It's like
Yeah.
that that's beauty. That pure, joy. That's the best thing.
It's
And
the best thing, and it's so true about life. It's
yeah,
just I mean, in earth and form, she just grows and grows and gives and gives. And that includes your own form too, right? Not eating those 2 scoops of ice cream
yeah,
because you as oneness awareness, which we could call the masculine, and your body, which we could call the feminine, right? This form and formlessness, you honoring her, you honoring him, you honoring the flesh, then you've got your belly full with what feels good to you, and you have more to offer the feminine in the
totally,
form of your goddesses.
totally. And I find more and more it's getting easier too to identify that because that's one of the biggest things that I had challenges with, and I mean maybe being out here too because I have my whole world feels way less chaotic. Like I feel there's way more peace. There's not this background hum
Yeah,
of city or my business or this underlying fear, you know?
yeah, yeah,
So, I mean, I'm lucky that I could feel like I've gotten to that place and that even, like an example for me is like, because I'm a people pleaser or in that world, like sometimes like I used to like, I'll send a text and I'll be like, oh, that was weird or something. And I'll have this like tiny spike in the cortisol in my body. You can feel that. And like all those spikes scientifically of cortisol are probably not good. It's like that.
yeah.
You don't want that. You don't want all those,
Doesn't feel good.
but
No.
even now I find if I have a feeling like that, the reaction is just not as significant. So it's like
Yes.
over time, it's like you maybe have those like similar thoughts in your mind because the neural pathways are still there or whatever. But then my body's reaction is like it's not going to the ceiling. It's just maybe a
Yes.
flip, and then there's peace again. So that
Yes. Exactly. Well, and
yeah,
you've been doing the work of what we talked about, right? It's just here's this plain old awareness, what's looking, and then you look at the thought, right? What's that fear that they're annoyed with you or whatever, and you've seen through it, and you've also been feeling through. You've been doing a lot of healing in the body,
Mhm.
and that's when you saw this love light, this
Mhm.
brightness, right? Where you're not afraid to meet the pain.
Mhm.
And then exactly the pattern, the code, that spell can kind of come around again,
Yeah.
but you just keep seeing through it, and you keep feeling through it, and it's quieter and quieter, to the point where it's just uh it becomes so peripheral, like the space junk is far far from you, and you don't believe it anymore, right?
Yeah.
It just takes looking at it once, and then you don't believe it as much, and then the next time you're like, oh, I believed this. Like, I believed that, this friend,
Yeah.
like, I needed to be a certain way with this friend,
Yeah.
and it just gets more and more, and it just dissolves into nothing.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
burns away. It is this beautiful
Usually.
thing of also like knowing that what you're believing is right for you and right for your body. And if you can get out of the chaos of the hum of your mind, like that, for me, that was the biggest one of like
That's it.
to be able to go down into your, really into your subconscious and to like pull out these warm feelings that you have.
Mhm. The
It's like that.
subconscious is the body. The body is the
Yeah.
subconscious mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Totally. And I've been finding, yeah, just getting in touch with that and being able to then, in the meditations to sort of visualize things a bit easier. Like, yeah, the sort of field meditations that you were sort of doing where basically there's a giant torus of our energy and we're stepping into that. And like what you said, to swim in that. And then it's
Yeah.
expanding throughout where I am. I mean I can really feel that. Like
Yeah.
that's really that's something special to even to just to take the time for it. It's like, yeah, no,
Mhm.
it's beautiful.
Yes, exactly, and then you're it's an opening process, right? So you're opening your field, and then in the same way that, like, if you are standing in an open field and some space junk comes around, you've got a
Mhm.
lot more room to see it, and you're like, "Oh, that's
Yeah,
that's that's not
yeah, you just
doesn't belong here."
step aside a little bit and let it fly
Yeah.
past.
Yeah, exactly, you're like, "Oh, and really it's a mirage, I've been using that word a lot more lately. All fear, all stories, and I've been really challenged with that, right? Where like I've been, grabbed by a demon by the throat, like,
Yeah,
no, I'm real. And I'm like, well, you just keep looking at you. No, none of them are real. None, it's all just a dream.
yeah,
And so to just see through this mirage that was tricking you, it was just water, it was like vapor and light, And and then and then you're just healing your field because it is all vapor and light. And
literally.
so and then feeling that exact literally, and then the one that vapor and light story that was so compelling that you would exit your body and go and just be in that loop of that story, right?
Mhm.
That you no longer magnetize it anymore. Because who's it if you have this enormously open field and you can feel the oneness that you are and your love light is so strong, you're not so interested. It's like the
Yeah,
contrast. It's like, what do you have for me?
yeah,
I got a baby to hold and some plants to
yeah,
grow. Yep.
yeah. And without all that extra chaos, and if there's less, to really consider and to think about, then the things that come to you and come to your into your Taurus field,
Yes.
they're easier to identify if they're what you want or what they're unwanted,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
you can literally feel it right away. And
Right
so
away.
it's, yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's
This is
been.
why I don't like therapy, and it's like you don't need all that analysis and processing and figuring. It's
Mhm.
like, it's like if I gave you a spoonful of food and it's like, does it taste good? I don't and you don't and then if it does, it's like, I don't need to know. I don't need to know everything about, you know what I mean? Like, I
Right,
don't need to know how why it why I don't need to know the why. And if it
right,
tastes bad, I don't need to know the why either. And if somebody says, "Well, I made it for you and you should have it and it's really healthy for you," but it's still just like, ugh, you know?
yeah,
It's very clear. It's like, my field likes it or it doesn't.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's the thing. I guess, yeah, I was having a conversation with my partner about therapy, and I was like, I was like, "Yeah, we don't need therapy anymore. No more therapy."
No more therapy.
And it was like, it is good, I think, to talk, and like that's where maybe therapy comes from in our
Mm.
culture, really, because it is culturally. I think we how much therapy do we do in the Western world? Millions of dollars a day with the therapy.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's like, but it's also probably comes from it's just like nobody has anybody to talk to.
No, we don't have friends. We
Yeah,
don't have community.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
like your therapist, ends up maybe being people consider them their friend because they that's all that which is like really so sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, it's like, but it is like, yeah, like how do people access that? They think it's like therapy, I'm healing, but really, it's like sure you maybe want to get to your store. Oops, sorry, that's my dog. That where your story came from, I guess. Shh, shh, shh. 1 second, just gonna let my dog out. Yeah, like people want to know where like why they feel like they do. It's just like where does it come from? I guess,
Sure.
but I mean, they still have to pay a lot of money for that.
Yes, and then also it's like, great, we lay out where it comes from. We know your mother and father were were rough,
Yeah.
you picked up all these beliefs, you believe this about yourself, you were emotionally wounded, you were physically wounded. All that's real, but now what?
Mhm.
And then the problem is we identify with that. We identify with our conditioning. And if it but like your baby, it's like it's so great to have a baby around because it's like this is there's no self-hate, there's no people pleasing, there's none of it, right? She's not adapting, you adapt to her. And
Yeah.
that's how it should be.
Yeah.
We that the world adapts to us, to what's true in our bodies.
Mhm.
And so so we analyze that, we can see it. We can see it all comes from conditioning. Great, you aren't your conditioning. You in fact, you can heal your conditioning, you can see through your conditioning. We are not our conditioning. We are love light.
Mhm.
And we are creatures, we are bodies who like things and don't like things,
Yeah.
and who like hanging around these people and not these people, and like this habitat and not that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that we only discover that by not engaging with the conditioning, by not identifying with our story, honoring our story. Yes, this all happened to me. It's real. It's like you said, it's a real. So I have this awful belief that I'm like the worst person in the world and I'm worthless. Yes, that hurts. That hurts your heart. But that's not who you are.
Yeah.
And who you are is what sees the story and what can feel the heartbreak, but not identify with it, see through it.
Yeah.
Mm,
Totally.
yeah.
Um, yeah, because it's like it does take, I think, a bit of like, br- I guess for someone stepping into this, it's like there is some bravery that you need to go directly into yourself and into the pain.
Yeah.
I, I think that's like even like with my partner, like talking with her and like, we're healing together, but it is like that initial journey inside your body. That
Yes.
may be a bit of bravery, but
Cool.
once you're in there,
But you're in there. It's just so good. And
so
this will
good.
help with the bravery. I love this. I always want to talk about this and I never sort of remember to. Because people will say, I need bravery or courage. And and so courage just means of the heart, right? Um, And I want to say we all like your daughter is brave. She's courageous, meaning she just acts from the heart. She just does what she wants. She
Mhm,
just goes in. She just asks for what she needs. She expresses
mhm.
herself. So we are all brave. We are all courageous. Our being is that. So and the reason I say that is because people will believe, we all believe like I'm missing something. So I have to go get bravery and then I'll do it. But it's like, no, 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 bravery is the default.
Yeah,
Yeah. Your heart is the default. That's the love, the awareness, pure awareness honors what's true. It just honors the body. And that's
yeah,
how we bring ourselves to fulfillment. So, but you're right in that there is a like it's a fine word because it's descriptive insofar as like it's not as if it's not as if you it's not as if you always see through all the fears before you make the leap. You sometimes just make the leap. It's like fuck it, maybe I'm gonna die. You know. Now it's totally possible to see through that thought beforehand. But like when for the first day I did the radio hour, right? I'm nervous,
Yeah.
and I was like, because it's like there's actually which was really just a lot of energy. It's really just a lot
Yeah.
of love energy.
Totally.
But peripheral old ideas of like, are you crazy? This is maybe a really bad idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it was too strong. It was too strong of a desire, and here it is. But it wasn't like I needed to go pull bravery or like grin and bear it or do anything. I just needed to be. I just needed to honor moment to moment, day to day, what life was showing me to do.
Mm.
And really, life was doing it. I didn't create a radio hour. Do you know?
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
a good way to put it. Yeah, I guess like for people who are, still in therapy, where it's like, I think it is like to go to pull themselves maybe out of that and go into this, and like
Yes.
maybe from that small little jump takes a
Yep.
little bravely to face you.
To face you, to face truth, like to be just really real with yourself. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the very good news is you have it. Everybody has
Yeah.
it.
Everybody
Yeah.
has it. Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like the whole thing with like the shadow. It's like that's you. It's
That's
like
you.
there
Yeah.
it is. It's like it's in there. The dark part
Yes.
or whatever. It's walking with you, and
Yes.
to recognize that, and sure, bravery, whatever, courageousness, to get in there and wiggle around with things.
Wiggle around is great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, this is it. This is the ultimate fear is of the pain of the shadow.
Yeah.
But it's like you're the light, and then you're going in, and it's like you're shining the light inside the shadow. Where's the shadow?
Yeah. Yeah.
You discovered that, right? You were like, this is all I found was a love light.
Yeah. True. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it. So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, there's nothing to be scared of. No.
Nothing to be scared of. No,
No.
it's all lies.
Yeah.
So he's like
Yeah.
calling fear's bluff, like, all right, well, listen, I've tried avoiding it for 20 years. Maybe
Yeah.
let's maybe we'll try looking at it.
Yeah.
Feeling it.
Face it. Yeah. Face it. Face the music.
Yeah. Face the music. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now would be the time.
Yeah.
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 Astrology, healing. Why not?
Mhm.
All
Why
these things
not?
this time of your life in the world that we're in right now. It's like,
Totally. What else are we doing?
yeah, what else are you really doing?
Yeah.
Trying to get rich?
Yeah,
No.
exactly. Exactly. Tell me what else you're up to that's better. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't find anything.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like it's all in here first before you want any of that stuff.
Totally.
Too, it's like it's got to be there's got to be some alignment within yourself because it'll feel way better if anything that you'll achieve afterwards, I think.
Yeah.
And not this hollow shell.
Yes. And exactly. It's like the result, we get what we initiated it from. So if it was coming from fulfillment, you get more fulfillment. If it was coming from like, oh my God, this is so fun, then the achievement is just more fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's still the goddess. You're filling
Mhm.
the goddess and they're overflowing upon you.
You're filling the goddess. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly it. That's what we're doing, right? As Vasvi said, it's like the father and the daughter, right?
Yeah.
The the consciousness of the body.
Yeah.
And you just fill your own cup and you fill her cup
Yeah.
and the cup overfloweth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Yay, praise Jesus, praise Mary Magdalene, praise. Oh shoot. Praise us. Yes.
Yeah.
You want to take some questions, Al, or just see if anybody has any comments
Yeah.
or questions?
Anyone have
Randolph had said that his 3 kids were also born with midwives, and he's pro co-sleeping.
good to know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good to know.
Tip. Yeah. I need tips because it is like she's like 2 weeks old, so it's like kind of like she seems so delicate right now, but she's tough. But yeah, like we want to start it too. I think soon. But it's like it's oftentimes like you in Japan. I know they have like a super like thin, dense mattress that they sleep on the floor. So it's like we have a futon mattress and we might start that just so it's like low impact. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Cool.
But,
And for those who joined us later, Al is going to be taking one-on-one coaching clients within about 2 weeks. We'll put
yeah,
them on my Substack and my website, megrokel.com. You can go check it out. So it's going to be great. If you've been in years of therapy, this is an incredible alternative.
yeah,
Um, you know,
yeah.
because as a trained therapist, it was getting a doctorate in it and training other therapists. Eventually, I just trained therapists in questioning thoughts and not doing analysis.
Right.
But often people would come to me, they'd been through 5 other therapists, first. And then this was something that they could actually do, something that actually worked, some actual healing. So
Wow.
Al will have those tools.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're living the tools.
Yeah.
Which are the
Yeah.
tools are us. We are the tools. It's not like I'm giving anything to you. I'm just pointing out what's already the case. You're just pointing out what's already the case with them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally. Because it is like we're just sort of blinded to a lot of this stuff,
exactly.
and it's just
Exactly.
obviously the power of suggestion and just pushing towards alignment and
Mhm.
fulfillment. People will just go with
They'll
it.
just go.
Yeah.
Exactly. You just sort of like pull a veil away and then or like, I don't know,
Yeah.
like debris out of the river
Yeah.
and then it just flows. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. I I've been there's lots of trout. Here's trout season here, so I've been doing a little bit of fishing because it's so close. And but people are like, "Wow, you're fishing and you just had a kid," and again, it's just like, yeah, it's just like,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Yes. What do you wanna show your child other than your own fulfillment? That's
yeah,
the job is to model fulfillment
yeah, totally,
and to encourage their own.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah. I'm so excited to like take her out here when she's a little bit older because there's just so much to see. Here are so many creeks and waterfalls, and it's like growing up around here too. It's like it still has this like such mystery here.
Mm. Yeah.
There's this magic here. So taking her into the woods to see that is going to be something special. And so I'm just
That's
doing research.
awesome.
Gotta check out all the places, right? So
Totally. I
take,
wonder if you and Lucy, will talk at some point because Lucy wants to create these forest schools.
yeah, totally. I
Yeah.
have that in another area that work in that. Uh,
Mm.
in a forest school, and like I don't know if there's one sort of here for this community. So that's also something I would like to talk about with Lucy, because even to sort of to help spearhead one, because I know there's funding and I know there's going to be more kids around here soon enough.
Yeah.
People who are trying to. So yeah, it's going to be a thing soon, and it's going to come quick. I
Yeah.
think.
Great. Great.
Yeah,
Wow.
definitely.
See, this is it. We're just doing it. We're just building the life we want to live. Just do it.
Yeah, yeah,
Those
and
old
it's like
systems.
yeah, it can be tough for a second, and
Mhm.
whatever financially, but it will sort itself out. And it's
Yeah.
just, we have to be in this weird box that was built for us. And
Mhm.
we're still in the box in a way. We're
Mhm.
still, I have a mortgage, and
Mm.
so I got to do stuff, but obviously it's just all going to work out. You're going to pay the
Yep.
mortgage, you're going to pay it off and keep going and
Good.
into fulfillment.
Into fulfillment.
Yeah.
Always how
Yeah.
it's going. If we let
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Here's Lou for the audience.
Hi. Hi,
Sweet
bud.
Louie.
Hi, Lou.
Lou,
Aw.
he can't stay away. He like barged in to see what I was doing.
Yeah. Yeah, he can't be away from his hobbit for too long.
No, that's right. Right. Sweet.
Mm. Cool. Well, thank you everybody for coming. Any reflections, questions? Welcome Denise, welcome Jesse, Cindy, Monique. So good to have y'all. Oops. I guess I can remind everybody we've got Claudia back on tomorrow for part 2 on understanding and healing mRNA. And then Friday, I'll talk about hobbits and elves and fairies and gnomes and dwarves and humans. And when we'll have that common language together too, which is helpful when, it's helpful to know what I think I might call them kindreds. It's like they're subspecies of Homo sapiens, but I don't know. I don't know if they're species yet or kinfolk or kindreds, but helpful to know which kindred you are in general, because the suggestions from hobbit to hobbit are more resonant. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's actually what I really want to eat. I
Yeah.
really want.
Yes. Stay home and do. That sounds
Yeah,
great.
it sounds great. Exactly. But maybe not to a fairy. So,
Yeah.
so to just have, again, it's always a suggestion. It's always just an offering, and then you feel it through your body. But I'm going to do 2 to 3 hours on just giving you the full download about who we are, these six archetypes, and handouts and all that stuff on Friday. So that's what's coming up this week, and then it might spill over into Monday. But then I'll just be like, if anybody wants to play with us and reference hobbits and elves and things, go listen to Friday's chapter.
Nice. Yeah. I like that way of it makes a lot of sense. Talk to people about like that.
Yeah.
And then the division. My friend had one. It was only 2, but we always joke about this one. It was you're either a crumb bum or a soccer cousin.
What does that mean?
I know. It's like that's the whole point. It's like you don't really know what it means, but you can sort of. So crumb bums. I'm a crumb bum.
Yeah, I was gonna say you gotta be
Through and through. I was born of crumb bums. My parents crumb bums, and then I have friends who are, they. It's hard to explain. It's just like such a generalizing thing to
I
say,
get
but
it.
like it's like, oh yeah, they're soccer cousins. Like they've got their planner out and they're planning every
Yeah.
day, and they just
Yes.
schedule, and the crumb bum's kind of like, yeah, a little.
Yes.
It'll work itself out. But it's just
Yep.
another funny way. I think there was another one. This is like I came from like the psychology world, but like Kiki and Booba.
Oh yeah, the Kiki and the Boobas. Yes.
So it's the same thing. Same
Thing.
kind of thing.
Totally. Totally. Yep.
We had this conversation with somebody one night, yeah. And the
Yeah.
Kiki is like the pointed shape, many pointed
Yes.
shape, and someone can be described as a Kiki.
Yes.
Or and then the Booba is like a round blob.
Exactly. And the feeling is abrasive and a little
Yeah.
tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the 6 avatars or species, I have all kinds of like charts and things, and one of them is that each one is warm or cold, or warm or cool. It's not really hot or cold, and
Yeah.
so it's sort of like the Kiki and the Booba. So it's like hobbits are warm, we'd be the Boobas, but elves are a little cool, and they're more Kiki,
Yeah.
And then the elves' names will literally be like, names with K in them, with T in them, with S in them. That's a little sharper,
Yeah. Yang, more yang.
More yang. Yeah.
The yin is more Booba, more hobbit, more crumb bum, if you will.
Exactly. Yep. That's how it is.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool. Well, it'll be fun. And it'll be so fun that you guys will all know it, right? And we can do conversations like this, and it's like these insights will just keep popping, and then we'll write the book, and we'll design the clothes and whatever together, I don't know.
Cool.
All right, y'all. Well, I don't see any questions or anything coming in, but I see some hearts coming in, so hearts right back to you. And again, Elle will be available in a couple weeks, so check back. I'll let you know. And this was amazing. This was awesome.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. real honor to be here to be witnessed and to see
Mhm.
people listening and to talk to you, Meg, finally. And it was literally just like I found you. I was like, oh, wait a minute, this person is saying a bunch of real things that I can relate to, and yeah, been tuning in, and it's just so cool to be here now and in front of you and to everybody, and so sweet.
Oh, so sweet, so sweet. It's really cool for me too. And yeah, it's a real one, the gathering, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Sweet.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Well, bye.